Washington Pod presents EARL Nightingale.
A friend of mine passed along to me an old out-of-print book entitled The Magic of a Name. It's about the beginnings of the Rolls-Royce automobile, written by EARL Nichols and first published in 1938. It makes interesting reading. But the point that underlies the story is the fact that the originator of the Rolls-Royce automobile, Henry Royce, was an indefatigable perfectionist. He didn't invent the automobile, he just wasn't happy with it. He thought it was too noisy for one thing and too heavy and inefficient. And so it happened that in Manchester, England, on April 1st, 1904, there came into being a motor car unlike any other that had been seen or heard before. As Harold Nichols put it, save for a gentle foot from its exhaust pipe, it made no noise at all. There was no clatter from the engine, no grinding from the gears and back axle. And this comparative silence in the days when the noise of a motor car had been likened with deadly accuracy to an avalanche of tea trays was something to marvel at indeed. At the wheel of this miraculous machine sat a bearded figure of some 40 years of age, whose piercing eyes were lit with a gleam of triumphant concentration. It was Henry Royce, later Sir Henry, the perfectionist. The trade name Rolls-Royce went on to become synonymous with anything excellent or outstanding. The Spitfires of the Battle of Britain in 1940, which had Rolls-Royce engines, were a big factor in winning that war. In fact, there's a beautiful stained-glass memorial window at the Rolls-Royce aircraft engine plant commemorating the pilots of the Royal Air Force, and it reads, "Who in the Battle of Britain turned the work of our hands into the salvation of our country." But the point I want to make is that to become successful and outstanding at something, we don't have to come up with something new. We need only find ways of doing it better. If you think about it, it's the key element in virtually all success stories. Hilton hotels, Holiday Inns, Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's hamburgers. The list is endless. If you want to succeed at something, just do it better. Henry Royce was so wrapped up in the business of producing a superior automobile, he would forget to eat for days at a time and sleep on a bench in the foundry. A boy was hired to follow him around with a glass of milk and some bread so he wouldn't get sick from malnutrition. He once heard a mechanic make the statement, "Okay, that's good enough," and they almost had to tie him down. Nothing was good enough for him, and his name and the name of his salesman-distributor partner, C.S. Rolls, is a symbol of quality. It's the same in every field, advertising to zinnia growing. Give it the kind of study and all-out dedication that Royce gave to his cars, and your name will someday stand like some of those I mentioned earlier.